Let's talk about Barbie.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that's been people have been very outraged about this.
Yeah.
Barbie was nominated for I think maybe 10 Oscars this year, including Best Picture. Margot Robbie was not nominated for Best Leading Actress, and Greta Gerwig was not nominated for Best Director, and people were screaming
Mm.
what is going on? However, Ryan Gosling was nominated for Best Lead Actor, and America Ferrera was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. So, what are your thoughts about?
America Ferrera's nomination, I don't know. Best Supporting Actress. Um, Nothing really wowed me per se about her performance. I do think they were just like, oh, we have to have somebody from Barbie there, or if need Greta or Margot is not there for director or actress, we have to put somebody in there for Barbie. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's not a sexist thing.
Okay.
I just don't think her performance was amazing in Barbie. To me, it was like very paint by the numbers. But Simo Liu did say something really interesting as far as Barbie. He mentioned all the stuff behind the scene that Margot and Greta were doing, as far as getting the movie done. And somebody was like, "What you described is the job of a producer," which is correct. If I do think they should extend that circle for the awards to probably put producers a bit in there. Like if you're gonna perform on the workload that both Greta and Margot did to get this movie made, done, and shot and everything, I do think if there was a best producer kind of category for the Oscars, they would probably have run away with it.
I feel like the outcry has been Ryan Gosling got nominated, and it's just showing the message of Barbie correct of
Yeah.
like Hollywood doesn't appreciate stories that center women. Now, I just want to say Barbie has 10 nominations for the Oscars. It's nominated for Best Picture. If Barbie wins Best Picture, Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie get Oscars. I hope everyone knows that. They might not, maybe because people don't watch the show, which
Yeah.
is fine. That's what happens when you win Best Picture. Since you're both producers, you both get Oscars. Now, the likelihood of that happening is slim. I think
Yeah.
we kind of know what's going to win that night, but let's just say for argument's sake, it did win. They would both go home with Oscars. So, like, we don't really need to be crying over the fact that they didn't get nominated for separate categories. Like, I think all things considered, a movie about a doll getting
Yeah.
this much nominations, to me, that in itself is saying that this movie did something. You know what I'm saying? It had the desired effect,
Yeah.
critically and commercially. Now, I think that we could have switched some things out. I didn't see Naiad with Annette Bening,
Mhm.
so don't know what she did in that movie. I think Margot Robbie probably did deserve an Oscar nomination for this role because to me, this was one of her best roles that she's done in her entire career. Like you had nothing to work with really. You're coming up with a character that is Barbie. And I think she did a great job in it. She was wonderful in that role. So, yeah, she could have got the nomination. Unfortunately, there were other performances that people just decided was stronger. The thing about Barbie, and I hate to say this because I feel like we talked about this in our Barbie review, but now that months have passed and I've watched it again, I think we have to come to a realization that although culturally it was a huge phenomenon and it made a whole bunch of money, it wasn't that good of a movie. It certainly wasn't Greta Gerwig's best film that she's done. This to me was her weakest film, actually. And what I'm saying is that when you're making something for the mass public, it's not always going to be like the best work because you're trying to appeal to everyone. I think she was trying to do things that were flipping things on their head. However, it's kind of hard to like try to make a movie that talks about, capitalism and feminism, but yet what you're depicting you're selling Barbies for $50 now. You're not really bucking the things that you're trying to criticize.
Yeah.
You're kind of going around in circles, semi criticizing and semi propping up those same ideas, which is what Barbie is doing. It's not so in that way it can't be subversive because you're not actually subverting anything.
Looking back, this is a movie to sell toys. Like, look at the
Mhm.
amount of marketing that went into Barbie. They
Mhm.
had live size Barbie Playhouse. They like reproduced old catalogs of Barbies, like we said with Greta's, wardrobe choices. They really released some of those as collectibles. Toys were flying off the shelf at a rapid pace when the movie came out.
The discourse to me is screaming white feminism to the nth degree. And
Yeah,
listen, I love Greta Gerwig down. Like I do. That's my girl. But you have to be honest. Like Barbie was not one of our best films. I'm
no,
sorry. Like I know it hurts. It hurts me. I feel like we have to be honest
yeah.
about what Barbie actually is. And then we can kind of reel it in with the, outcry of, oh, this is unfair how the Academy has treated these people.
And it also kind of hits the nail on all white feminism when they asked Michelle Yeoh how she feels about Greta and Margot's.
Oh, what did
Um,
she say?
she said, "Oh, sometimes you're nominated, sometimes you're not," and it's kind of funny. Like she said,
I love it.
she said something like that, and it's kind of funny. You're asking one of the few Asian women to get nominated for the award for her career and finally winning it. It gives me very much flashbacks to last year for Best Supporting Actress, where Jamie Lee Curtis wins over uh
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Yeah, very much
Mhm.
flashbacks over. Like if you want to nominate Jamie Lee Curtis, that's fine, but for that role, come on. We're complaining the fact that two other white women weren't selected for
Yes.
that category.
What y'all are outraged for is just giving, like, our favorite white women didn't get a spot, and we're angry because in our minds, Barbie was so much more than it actually was. I don't know, I feel like everyone had to be outraged about something, but I think in particular, people feel very fiercely about this movie because it was, like, unapologetically female, and it did really well, but again, it's just like, you're congratulating like white women on making billions of dollars and the movie wasn't that great,
Yeah.
so maybe just tone it down like Hillary Clinton. I don't know if that actually was her tweet,
Oh my god.
but it is legit tweeted about this. It's like, girlfriend, we got to get you another job, like someone put her somewhere because what the hell. Okay, well, to be honest, I saw the list and thought, this is pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I interestingly this year did not have that many issues with the Oscar list as I usually do in previous years. So that's saying something. I don't know what it's saying, but it's saying something. I was disappointed that May December didn't get anything. I thought that everyone did a great job, especially Charles Melton. I think a lot of the young kids were rooting for him to get an Oscar nom, so that was kind of sad that that didn't materialize. But so I was kind of hoping for that. I thought TOU, who was in Past Lives, I thought he definitely deserved something for supporting actor. And but other than that, I don't really know what America Ferrera was doing up there.
Feel like with Best Actor, they kind of. I'm still kind of figuring out how I feel about Daniel Coleman as in Rustin. Um,
Mhm.
I'm still kind of iffy about it. I don't. I feel either way about the movie. I don't think it was one of the best movies of the year, so maybe that's why I'm kind of wondering as to why his Best Actor selection was there. I hate when the
Mhm.
Academy splits up Best Animated and Best Picture because me personally, I do believe that Into the Spider Verse, even the last Spider-Man movie, both of those, should have been up for Best Picture as well. The animated feature, you have The Boy Inherent Elemental, Manoa, Robot Genius, Spider-Man. Two or three of those could have been in the Best Picture category. I'm not a fan of the whole segmenting them and thinking animation is, like Guillermo says, it's a medium. It's not a genre, and the industry itself has not dissected itself from that thought process at all.
When it comes to certain categories, like you can have a really good performance in a not so great movie. And I
Yeah,
think I've seen that a couple of times where like the performance is great, but the movie itself was kind of meh. And so for on that, or I think, yeah, Coleman Domingo did a great job in Rustin. His performance was great. Now, was the movie good?
yeah.
Not really. So
I love the fact that for international feature, like, of course, with France, An Enemy of Fall was in that country selection, and the Academy was like, "Oh, put it in Best Picture."
yeah, because it
Either-
deserved it.
It
It was
deserves
so
it. Yeah,
good.
it deserves it. Yeah.
Um,
Did you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.